Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today I think we're around mild melty cheeses number 6, where we're looking at Fontina. Fontina is an Italian table cheese, a melting cheese, an everyday cheese. And I have one here from Italy. I've got another one here from Italy I just bought yesterday and sampled, and it's very good. And I have a domestic one made in Wisconsin that I haven't tasted yet. So we will dive in and get to see what these flavors are like in these cheeses. So if you like the videos that you're seeing on this channel, please remember to like the video, share it with friends, leave comments and questions down below, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell to get notified when the new videos come out. So Fontina is, it's not on my radar a lot, but it is here in Liz Thorpe's The Book of Cheese, in her Havarti Gateway. And I don't really talk about the set or the gateway cheeses here, but we have done mozzarella gateway, fresh cheeses, and then we've done, this is brie, so brie-like cheeses was our second series of cheeses, and I think this one is Havarti. And that's representing the Havarti Gateway. If you like Havarti, you'll like all these other things in here. And she wanted to call it Gouda, as we've discussed before, but that might confuse people because there's so much aged Gouda around. And Fontina is an Italian cheese, and she says, poor Fontina. It's one of those malign cheeses whose name has been used and abused so much it's hard to predict what kind of cheese you're going to get. Traditional name-protected Fontina must come from Italy's Valle d'Aosta. That's what I think I have here, yes. And it's made from whole cow milk and aged for a minimum of 3 months. Typically marketed as in the States as Fontina Valle d'Aosta, and it has a toothsome, buttery texture and a huskier flavor with truffle undertones. You can tell the real deal by a certain stamp on it. Then there are the rip-offs sold under names like Fontal, Fontellini, and Fontella, which may be produced in Italy or the United States or other European countries. These are younger, pasteurized cheeses designed to be milder in flavor and softer in texture. I would put these about a 3 on the intensity spectrum, semi-firm and buttery, but with less tang than young Asiago. Real Fontina is fruity and mushroomy and less and intense, but her texture is dense and dangerously close to gummy, and her flavor is fruit-forward and spicy on the finish. Aroma is rehydrated porcini mushroom. So, I am going to dig into this one I have already opened and sliced up, because I know it's good, because I cut a bunch of slices for the grilled cheese that's coming shortly. So I'll get a couple more pieces off of here. And I don't think I need all that for tasting. I'll do one on a cracker and one plain. So this is imported Fontina, and I'll show the label, but I didn't really have a brand or an origin. Buttery. The saltiness. Yeah, it's definitely got creamy dairy notes. Buttery. Textures semi-wet, semi-solid. It's soft. You would expect this to melt. That's going to be such a good sandwich. I'm not getting any of the mushroomy, or there might be a hint of something nutty. So I am liking that. And I would pay whatever they charge for this stuff, because it's pretty good. Okay, on a salty-ish cracker, it's a salty combination. Cheese is salted, you can tell, the cracker's salted. There's a little bit of grains or seeds and nuttiness in the cracker. And there's just more nuttiness in the whole thing. It's interesting, it pops, it's good. That'd be a great cheese on a cheese board. Let me try to get this thing open that I just bought yesterday and tasted it right away. And I was pretty excited about it. So this, to took a picture of it in the case so you can see the bigger wheel or half a wheel it came from. I think that's part of the stamp that Liz is talking about to verify its authenticity or help you identify it properly. So it's got a rind that's not meant to be eaten. And I'm going to end up with some chunky pieces here, but that should be enough to do the tasting and have with the cracker. So I'm cutting off a little rind from each end. Wow, it's got an aroma that's strong. I can smell it this far away. Strong, intense. Wow, that might be fungal and mushroomy, earthy. Lots of parts of that. So I'll cut smaller pieces because I'm expecting it to be strong. There's a sweaty sock, stinky feet sort of note to it. Okay. A different imported Fontina. Wow. Huh, okay. There's a mushroominess to it, and I don't get any of the stinky feet on the palate. It's just an aroma. Softer than this other first Fontina, but smoother. It's not pasty. It's not semi-solid. It just kind of melts away. That's so good. And that earthiness, maybe it's a mushroom nut. Wow. Okay, good. Very complicated. And a little intense. Let's put it on a flatbread. So I don't want anything to interfere with it. It's really good. Okay, I'll have 2 bites here. And with the cracker, cheese seems a little saltier because it's contrasting with the unsalted flatbread. Nuttiness, yeah, it's really more of an earthiness and a mushroom note. It's kind of a mushroom I don't eat very much, so that might be what's confusing me. Oh, super interesting. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. So I'll show that label. It says it was something like $24.50 a pound. So I just asked for half a pound from that big wheel that was in the case. And that was an interesting process to watch. I'm still getting notes and pops and flavors and things from the far reaches of my mouth and taste buds. I'm getting little pops of saltiness, butteriness, the mushroom notes. I still think there's a nuttiness to it. That is just wonderful. Now that I've got it out at room temperature, I think this would melt just fine too. Okay, that's pretty special. And now, maybe I shouldn't have done it last, but this is the domestic Fontina from Wisconsin, Belgioioso. From Denmark, Wisconsin. And it doesn't say a lot. Usual labeling stuff. I'm just going to peel back enough to get a few bits off. Yeah, it should be enough for my first tasting. Let's go to my throat. Oh, it's very soft. Super limp and squishy. Doesn't have the texture. It might just be younger. Might take a while. I don't know how much they aged it. 3 months maybe in Italy, and then it probably takes quite a trip to get it over here. So we'll taste this stuff. Way softer. Wow, it just goes away. Just kind of makes a paste. Very little buttery paste, very few dairy notes. A little sharpness or a tang that is not a pleasant one. It's not strong, it's not offensive because it's so low level, but I'm not sure that belongs in this cheese. Okay, a little bit on flatbread. So I'm going to try to smash it on there, and you can see how there's no firmness to it at all. Wow. The cheese doesn't bring anything, the flatbread didn't bring anything. So that is a poor example of a named type of cheese. Wow, it just didn't have anything. Okay, now smash and squish onto a little lower salt Triscuit. Maybe there'll be some flavor in that combination. Yeah, there's no texture, no flavor, no substance. I'm not a fan of this thing. Same thing. Cracker is way more interesting than the cheese. It's got good flavors and interesting textures. Tell it's salted. I'm not sure if I can even pick up salt in this thing. So I can't think of any reason to buy this. So I will do my pairings and everything else with these two. So my expectations were low for the Belgioioso, but the cheese even underperformed that. I was going to do sunflower seeds, but I don't want to put it on a cracker that might have a lot of seediness or nuttiness to it. There, flatbread. This shocked me one time that the sunflower seeds had so much flavor, character. Outsized from their size or influence, you would think. So, a few sunflower seeds and flatbread. Really good texture. Soft and melts away. Coats your mouth with buttery, creamy tones and notes, and the sunflower seeds have a lot of pop of nuttiness. They're strong, they're intense. And you recognize right away they're sunflower seeds. And roasted and salted. So that's good. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Let me cut another piece here. I'll have more excuse to eat some more of this. Rind off. And, okay, I'm going to put a small piece of the Valdosta. I'm sure I'm butchering the Italian language, I'm so sorry. And put on a couple bits of sun-dried tomatoes. So let's try this combination. Very complex. There's a sweetness, an earthiness, a smokiness from the sun-dried tomatoes. It's kind of fruity. And I didn't get the fruit-forward points that Liz was making about this cheese. But that's a great combination. There's contrast, there's subtlety. They complement each other and contrast in different ways. So I like the sun-dried tomatoes with that. And the crackers seem to stay out of it. And for my last trick, I'll do this good Fontina with a few dried blueberries. And it's not been taking much, but the blueberries have been pretty successful. Just not at staying on. They roll around, since they're round, and fall off. So I'll try to get 4 and get it in my mouth. Blueberries, Fontina, multi-grain cracker. Very good. Fruity. It's a subtle fruitiness. Even with 3 on there, the cracker's loud. The cheese has its own flavors. I didn't pick up mushroom or many of the dairy notes. Sometimes the fruitiness makes them louder, emphasizes different dairy notes, and sometimes it doesn't. So that's that. So it's time to set this aside, So, man, these two are real winners. This is a real dud. I'm going to set this aside and bring you a sandwich that's made with this cheese. Back in the flesh. Okay, I'm back with the grilled cheese sandwich. And this is made with Nature's Own butter bread, white bread I buy at Walmart. And the cheese was this unbranded, imported Italian Fontina that came from a certain shop, and I don't know what brand or creamery it might be. But it was the less flavorsome of the two Italian ones. So, wow. Quite a stretch. It did have good texture when eating it. It did have good mouthfeel. It's creamy and buttery. Wow, this is really stretching. Wow, it smells so good. Creamy, buttery notes is the main thing I get here. And that toasted bread smell you always get. Okay, let's try it. Subtle, mild flavor in this use. It's not as strong in flavor as a lot of American cheeses. But it's a real interesting texture. It's a real interesting set of subtleties. Dairy notes, creaminess are there. The butteriness, that's not the outside butter. Very good, tasty, interesting. I like it. And I'm suspecting a little bit of this Fontina would make a real interesting stringy macaroni and cheese if the Fontina was one of the cheeses in there. So I'm going to turn off the camera and eat this thing. But you don't have to watch all that. So again, let me remind you to like the video, leave comments and questions, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to get notified when the new videos come out. And I'm going to be looking into mac and cheese recipes to use some of these cheeses in, because I just can't make grilled cheese over and over and over and over and over again, because that might be too much. So until next time, cheers. Mm-hmm.